special teams. Jeff.
Three-phase football. Cignetti knows what it's about. Boop, boop. In the end zone. Let's make it happen. Way to go, IU.
Indiana was in punt safe.
Hey.
How do you give up a block in
2.25 seconds, half time. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Isaiah Jones with the recovery for the touchdown. Indiana up 17-7. But Beck not giving up. Malachi Tony so quick.
Yeah, he's a special player. You'll see him anytime they get the ball in his hands, he's going to make a play.
And they take it in with Fletcher for his second touchdown of the game, and so they're right back in it.
And they did a good job in this second half of running the football and getting downhill and him breaking tackles and picking up yards.
Now the drive they'll talk about forever. This is a fourth down conversion to Charlie Becker.
Great play call, gutsy play call, and an unbelievable execution by both Mendoza and Becker on the back shoulder.
Again, that was on a 4th and 5. Now we're in the red zone. This is a 3rd and 5. Mendoza looking end zone, nobody home. So that sets up the big decision. First, they bring out the field goal team. Call a timeout. Bring the field goal team back off the field. We're going with the quarterback. We're going with the play that will live forever.
Got to get to the 8. He's going to take off and run. Mendoza weaves his way first and goal, diving toward the end zone. Touchdown! That's why he won the Heisman Trophy.
Chris Fowler with a fabulous call of a play. Hey, Jeff Saturday, this moment right here.
Oh, beautiful.
You're
You're going to see this. Cignetti with his hands like this after, and that right in between the goalpost on a poster in every kid's room in Indiana. That is right there. Go right in between them, making memories, baby.
But the game's not over. It's 10-point game midway through the fourth quarter. Here comes Miami. Malachi Tony.
18-year-old
yards.
freshman. He's the best player on the field anytime he's on the field.
They give it to him again here for the touchdown. He had 10 catches, 122 yards. Miami's within 3.
You have to be excited about the future of this kid, and it feels like they're making a comeback. They're closing the score. All of a sudden, the offense catches fire.
So Indiana's offense needs to run it out or score and ice it. 3rd and 7, big moment. Back to the back shoulder.
What are we doing? We're still in man coverage, still no safety help over the top. They didn't learn from the big 4th and 5 conversion, and again, another unbelievable throw and catch.
We're under the 2-minute timeout here. Miami trying to ice it on a 3rd and 5. But Kalon Black is stuffed. Indiana does kick the field goal this time, so it's a 6-point game. Ray Lewis on the sideline telling his quarterback Carson Beck, this is your moment, young man, but this is how it ends. Beck, the mistake.
Yeah, this is incompletion here. You get the penalty.
Oh, sorry.
On the roughing
This is
the
Mario
passer,
Landino's
which,
roughing the passer.
Yeah, bailed them out to set up here a decision that Carson Beck will want back. He's got one receiver that's double covered. Pre-snap as a quarterback, you got to know the ball can never go there. The receiver knows the ball shouldn't go there. He's not really even trying. It was a bad decision, something we hadn't seen from Carson Beck all playoffs. He'd been brilliant, but the night was Mendoza's in Indiana.
Jabari Sharp with the interception to ice it. Carson Beck can't believe it. Candidly, Indiana can't believe it. No one can believe it. Curt Cignetti has done the impossible. The Hoosiers, 16-0. They win the national championship and complete one of the greatest turnarounds in the history of sports. Before the arrival of Curt Cignetti, Indiana went 136 seasons. In none of them did they win 10 games or a national title. They lost 713 games, the most in college football. In the 2 seasons under Cignetti, they've won 10 games in both, and now they are the national champs.
We won the national championship at Indiana University. It can be done, and I'm so happy for our fans. Words can't describe it.
Finally, how are you going to celebrate, Coach?
I'm going to have beer. There's no better group of guys I want to deal with. It's the most special moment of my life. There's such a great group of guys. I love you guys. Great job. Let's go!
Cignetti and the rest of these Hoosiers, a night that will never be forgotten. Jordan is with me here. Josh Pate is with us. And Booger McFarland joins us for the first time this morning. Big fella, I mean, how do we begin to tell the story of what happened here? Indiana is the national champion. You've been covering college football a very long time. You played it at the very highest level. What are the first things you want to say this morning about this season and this performance from the Hoosiers?
Well, I'd like to start with the head coach, Curt Cignetti, because, you know, a lot's going to be made about can this be done? Why was this done? How was this done? I think we have to give Curt Cignetti a big pat on the back because his ability to identify talent, to understand what he wants, to understand how they fit into his culture, to me, is the ultimate key. in a day and age where the head coach has a general manager, has personnel people, Curt Cignetti is the head coach. Curt Cignetti is the general manager. They don't have a general manager at Indiana. He's the guy that's picking and choosing the players. He's the guy that's picking and choosing and setting the culture. So I think first and foremost, we have to give him his just due for identifying the talent, putting this team together, and then coaching them up. We've lauded. Everybody said the same thing. They're the most well-coached team. They don't make mistakes, blah, blah, blah. But the reason they do all that is the guy at the top. And I know he doesn't have the pellets on the wall like Nick Saban and a bunch of these other guys, but this one-year season for Curt Cignetti, from identifying the talent to coaching them up to making the in-game decisions to win these games, to me, may be the greatest coaching job in a 365-day span that we've ever seen. And I know it's not as long as some of the great coaches that have done it and won 6 or 7 national championships. But if we're looking at a one-year wonder, I think it's a must that we give Curt Cignetti his due.
It's actually an interesting way of looking at it, and I'm glad you said that. Pate, the sport is frequently defined by a face, and that face is usually a coach because the coaches are around longer than the players. And obviously, for the longest time, it was Nick Saban, and Dabo Swinney had his moment, and others. But all of it, and in this moment, as we sit here right now, is the sport defined by that always angry-looking face of Curt Cignetti?
Yeah, it's like resting agitation. It's really a beautiful thing. If you're old school, you love football, I think you could say he defines it, Greeny. I wouldn't argue with you if you said that Big Ten sticker defines it, because it's not just Ohio State that's rattled off 3. It's Ohio State, it's Michigan, now it's Indiana. But look, to go back to Boog's point for a second, he brought this up, and a lot of people are going to bring this up. They're going to do the whole, well, if Indiana can do it, then we can do it. And while that's technically true, I please want to emphasize, number one, how special this is, so how much I hope Indiana fans enjoy it. And by the looks of things, they are taking me up on that. But the other part is how layered this was. And even if they had a Heisman Trophy winner, Fernando Mendoza didn't win these games by throwing for 450. Jeff Saturday just made a good point in how complimentary this team was. Last night alone, they block a punt for a touchdown. Miami misses a field goal. Indiana's 2 of 2. Also, Miami's final 6 drives started on their 25-yard line or worse. And so they tilted the field. They made timely plays on 4th down. They're opportunistic and tough as nails defensively. It wasn't like they specialized in one thing. It was they made you try and plug 11 holes in the dam with 10 fingers, and no one was able to do it. And it's one of the most beautifully efficient operations, like Boog said, I've ever seen.
And the man at the top of it, obviously, is Cignetti, and then the man executing it all for him is his Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. And you used the word gutsy to describe his performance last night.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. He got beat up in that first half. I mean, Mesidor and Bain were all over him. He was bloodied early in that game. In the biggest moments, he was his best. I think that's the best way to define an elite quarterback play, is when you need it most, are you your best or are you average? This play wasn't blocked well. It was a great play call. It wasn't blocked well. The 4th and 5 and this 3rd and 7 here down the sideline of Charlie Becker was unbelievable. Fernando Mendoza was lights out. Back to Curt Cignetti real quick, though. In this day and age in NIL, everything's transactional. It's about accumulating talent, accumulating players. What gets forgotten, and you see this memorable dive, I mean, move over Cam Newton, that Superman play is going to live in lore forever. But in this day and age, you overlook player development and culture. And those are 2 things that Curt Cignetti instituted in an NIL era that is very flash in the pan and short-lived, that can stand the test of time. I think we're watching the beginning of a new dynasty, really. And I know we talked earlier, it's hard in this day and age to build that dynasty the way Nick Saban did. But if you can develop talent like Mendoza, getting him from Cal, Hemby was from Maryland. Becker was an all-time. Becker started in Indiana, was a nobody, and then developed into a superstar. That is elite coaching, and that can stand the test of time. And I think Curt Cignetti's building something that will last.
We'll see. Again, for next year, they do open as one of the favorites to win next year's national championship. Boog, you and I will be together in Pittsburgh in about 3 months for the NFL draft. And I think both of us can safely say Fernando Mendoza's will be the first name we hear called. We can debate whether it's the Raiders that should do it or not. We'll talk about that on the set a little bit later here. But just give me a sneak peek of what people can expect to hear from you. Your assessment of Mendoza now that his college career is officially over and he turns his attention at some point here to whatever will come next in the NFL.
Greeny, you've heard me say this often. When you play the quarterback position, I don't care how tall you are. I don't care how far you can throw the ball. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how fast you run the football. The number one job of a quarterback is you have to process information and you have to throw the football accurately. Fernando Mendoza does those things really well. And I think that's the thing that's going to appease Pate and Brady, who's the brain trust for the Las Vegas Raiders. I think the quarterback has got to process information and he's got to do it at the speed of lightning. Fernando Mendoza can do that. Now, it helps when you can run the football like he did on the quarterback draw for the touchdown. I'm going to break down his personality. It's a little quirky. It's a little Andrew Luck on steroids. But once you get past all that, he can throw the football and process information like some of the best we've ever seen.
Yeah, and I would take Andrew Luck. I mean,
yeah.
If you get Andrew Luck
Just
with
win,
the first
baby.
pick in the draft, you're awfully happy with that. And that is really the point. You made that point earlier. That's Tom Brady, couldn't make the play that Caleb Williams made on Sunday night, but you don't have to be able to do that.
I think Tom Brady looks at Fernando Mendoza and sees a lot of himself. Somebody that excels at being accurate and decision-making. To Boog's point as well, there's two things that you don't get better at the next level. That's throwing accurate footballs. It's only harder. They're only better at the next level. And making faster decisions. It's harder at the next level. You don't suddenly become a better decision maker. That's why Mendoza has such a high floor. Now, to your point, the pieces around him are going to be important because he can't run a 4-5 and run around you. He can't throw it 80 yards downfield and bail you out off his back foot like Caleb Williams can at times. Can you build a team around him? You can be really successful with that type of quarterback.
Pate, quick final word on this.
I think also to speak to the neck up approach here, remember, he just won the Heisman Trophy, justifiably so, about a month and a half ago, and then proceeded to play his best football after winning that Heisman Trophy, which is sort of counter to what we've seen a lot in college football. I think it speaks to how sharp his mental makeup is. And then to Jordan's point, I'm just interested to see what the ceiling actually is and what the organization around him looks like if he does indeed go to Las Vegas 3 years from now.